When was the last time you looked in the mirror and asked yourself, am I truly living the life I desire? Not the life others expect of you, nor the one society deems appropriate, but the life that genuinely resonates with your inner being. Carl Jung, a pioneering figure in modern psychology, emphasized a profound yet often overlooked lesson: the importance of choosing yourself, even when the world seems to urge you in another direction. In today's fast-paced society, we're constantly bombarded with distractions, social media notifications, work deadlines, family obligations, all pulling us away from our true selves. From the moment we wake up, external demands dictate our actions, leaving little room for introspection. But here's a truth many avoid. Every time you prioritize others' expectations over your own needs, you send a silent message to your inner self that it doesn't matter. That quiet voice within, urging you towards authenticity, is often drowned out by the noise of daily life. Jung believed that our unconscious mind isn't just a repository of suppressed thoughts, it's an integral part of who we are. Ignoring it leads to a life of disconnection and unrest. That nagging feeling when something feels off, that's your inner self signaling a need for change. Reflect for a moment. How many recent decisions have you made from a place of genuine authenticity? And how many were driven by fear? Fear of disappointing others, fear of stepping outside societal norms, or fear of the unknown? Jung urged us to confront these fears because decisions not rooted in our inner truth lead to chaos and disconnection. The further we stray from ourselves, the more lost we feel. Choosing yourself doesn't mean rejecting others. It's about recognizing that to offer the best version of yourself to the world, you must first be at peace within. This is the essence of self-love, not a luxury, but a necessity for authentic relationships and a fulfilling life. When you prioritize your well-being, a profound shift occurs. You begin to attract people and situations aligned with your true essence. It's as if the universe responds to your authenticity, removing what's no longer serving you and bringing forth what you truly need to grow. But to reach this state, you must confront your shadows, the parts of yourself you've ignored or suppressed. Jung described the shadow as the hidden aspect of our psyche, containing everything we'd rather not acknowledge. Facing it can be uncomfortable, but it's within this confrontation that true transformation begins. Integrating your shadow isn't an overnight process. It requires courage, patience, and a commitment to understanding yourself. But the rewards, clarity, purpose, inner peace, are invaluable. You gain the ability to say no to what doesn't align with you without guilt or fear. You might wonder, how do I begin this journey? Start by listening to yourself. When you feel discomfort or uncertainty, pause and ask, what is my inner self trying to tell me? As Jung once said, your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Listening to your intuition is challenging, especially when it leads you down a path that challenges everything you've built. Perhaps it's a relationship that's no longer working, a job that drains you, or a dream you've been chasing because it seemed right. Ignoring these signals isn't strength, it's a denial of your true essence. Choosing yourself means having the courage to let go of what no longer resonates with you. Change is terrifying, and we often cling to the familiar. But Jung challenges us to see change not as an ending, but as a doorway to a more authentic version of ourselves. Consider this: what are you holding on to that no longer serves you? What relationships, beliefs, or habits are you maintaining out of fear? Letting go may feel like a loss, but the real loss occurs when you sacrifice your inner peace to hold on to something that no longer has meaning. The choice is always yours. And perhaps the most important question you can ask yourself right now is, am I ready to truly choose myself? Choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's an act of profound love and respect for who you truly are. Society often conditions us to believe that prioritizing ourselves is wrong, but the reality is quite the opposite. When you make the conscious decision to choose yourself, something magical unfolds. It's as if a fog lifts and you see things with clarity. People who genuinely support you remain by your side, while those who drained your energy fade away. This isn't a coincidence, it's a reflection of your internal transformation. Jung called this synchronicity, the connection between your thoughts, emotions, and the circumstances that unfold in your life. Living in alignment with your truth causes your external world to shift, mirroring your internal transformation. However, this process requires radical honesty with yourself. It's not just about making bold decisions or setting boundaries, it's about acknowledging uncomfortable truths about your past. Perhaps you've made choices that weren't a true reflection of who you are. Maybe you've allowed people to overstep your boundaries, sacrificing your well-being to please them. But this isn't a reason to judge yourself. It's an opportunity to learn, recalibrate, and make different choices moving forward. Jung believed that authenticity isn't a destination. It's a continuous journey of learning, evolving, and growing into the truest version of yourself. On this path, you'll face resistance. There will be moments of doubt when old habits tempt you to return to familiar patterns. But remember, true growth never happens within your comfort zone. The world may not always understand your decision to choose yourself. Some may criticize or distance themselves from you. But when you stop seeking external validation, you realize that your worth isn't defined by others' opinions, but by what you believe about yourself. Choosing yourself doesn't mean isolating yourself. In fact, your relationships evolve in ways you never imagined. You no longer chase approval. You seek genuine connection. You no longer settle for shallow interactions. You crave relationships that nourish your soul. As you live authentically, the world around you transforms. This isn't magic. It's the powerful interplay between your inner and outer worlds. Jung spoke about how our psyche projects our inner state onto the external world. If you live in internal conflict, you'll attract external conflict. But if you choose yourself, fully accepting and embracing who you are, you'll see the people and circumstances around you shift. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that requires patience and commitment. There will be days when you feel like you're taking steps backward, moments when old tendencies resurface, but this is where the real test lies, your ability to stay firm in your decision to choose yourself, even when it feels uncomfortable or lonely. We live in a world that glorifies sacrifice, where giving everything to others, even at the expense of our own well-being, is seen as noble. But what happens when we pour from an empty cup? When we give so much that we lose ourselves in the process? Choosing yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. Only when you're whole and aligned with your truth can you truly give to others from a place of abundance rather than depletion. So dare to choose yourself, not just once, but every day, not just in the big moments, but in the smallest decisions. And watch as your life begins to transform in ways you never imagined. Jung taught us that we cannot give what we do not possess. If you sacrifice your happiness, energy, or inner peace to please others, what you're offering isn't authentic. Sooner or later, that imbalance will manifest in your life. Setting boundaries isn't an act of selfishness, it's an act of self-love. Jung believed that our unconscious mind constantly works to guide us toward our well-being, but we often ignore its signals. That sense of exhaustion, the feeling of being overwhelmed, the persistent unease, these aren't random. They're messages from your inner self, urging you to pay attention. This doesn't mean severing ties with everyone. It means being honest with yourself about which relationships nourish you and which ones drain you.